Hey, what's up everybody? Tyler from 10 Thumbs Pro. You know the old saying, you teach someone a chord melody, they chord melody for a day. You teach someone how to take the melody and make it a chord melody, they chord melody for life. So what we're doing is we're breaking down You Are My Sunshine chord melody style, and I'm going to take you through how I go from the melody to my first arrangement, to my second arrangement, to my third arrangement. So hopefully if you know the melody to another song, that you can take this and you can make your own chord melodies, alright? So let's go ahead. If you are a Patreon, you have a PDF that starts at just $1 creation with caps as low as $1 a month. You can print it out. There's PDFs with every single lesson. You can always give more. Skype lessons one-on-one if you're interested. But if you came just because you want to take this to this, I dig it and I respect it. What do you need? That ukulele brain attention span. Grab all three of those things, follow me on in, and let's break this one down. Remember to check the links below. Get your PDF, $1 a month. Let's do it. Okay, so step one is to know the melody, but also know a couple things about the melody. So let's go ahead and play through the melody, and then we're going to analyze it and talk about whether it's a good melody for chord melody. And I just said the word melody several times. So here we go. Here's the melody. Alright, so that's the melody. Well, is it a good one or is it a bad one? One of the first things, really the most important characteristic I look at if a melody is going to sound good or not with chord melody is the lowest note and the highest note. If you have to go way up here, it's not going to be that good. I'm on a soprano ukulele. You can always go lower down on a concert and tenor, but it's nice in a perfect world. I mean, you can get up there to 12, but I don't really like to get past 12, and I think 12 is kind of like a hit on the chord kind of thing. Now this particular melody, the highest note is a D note, and the lowest is a C. So it's going to work pretty good, but obviously you don't want to get too low because we're trying to get these melodies to really shine on the higher notes, okay? So we've examined our melody, and it's a pretty good one. Highest note D, lowest note C. Most of the melody working around right here, this open A, it's going to be a good one. Step two is what I call on the one, alright, where we harmonize our melody on the first beat. And, 4, and 1. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Alright, so you see how that I'm playing chords on the first beat. This is the basic chord melody arrangement. If you know a melody to a song, you can start to do this right away. Let's look at that F note too. Notice how I'm only strumming the first 3 strings, using this A as like a trapeze to kind of catch my thumb. Because my melody is the F note, not the A note, and your ear kind of tends to hear the highest note. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Okay, so here we go with that arrangement. I'm going to play through I'll play through the whole thing and we'll talk about some of the pieces, alright? Okay, so you can see that we're just playing on the first beat with the exception of that 7th bar that looks like this. Okay, so why am I doing that? Well, because there we've introduced another chord, another harmony, the C7, alright? So by kind of strumming through that chord, I'm able to reinforce that harmony. But otherwise, everything else is on the first beat. So go ahead and take your time, play through that, get comfortable with it. And now we're going to look at step 2 in arranging, and this is further harmonizing some tasty notes. So let's go ahead and look at the next arrangement, but make sure that you feel good and comfortable with that before you move on, okay? Okay, step 3, we are going to harmonize some more of our melody with some other interesting shapes. So let's go ahead and break that part down. Alright, so let's take a look at this. We'll do this one more bar by bar. We're going to slow down a little bit. It looks like this, the first 4 bars. So that goes into the next bar. So let's look at the first 4 bars first. You can see right away one of the things we did was just harmonize some of these other chords with the melodies. But you can also see not all of them. Why is that? Well, I personally believe, it's all about your preference. These are your arrangements, so feel free to do whatever you want. But I like the individual melody notes on the offbeats and the chord strums on the 1, 2, 3s, and 4s. So that's why I went 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Alright, so let's talk about this one. In chord melody, a lot of times you'll see this high D note over the B flat. And one of the easiest ways, if you have a B flat, to harmonize this note is something called a double stop. Take your pointer finger, 3rd fret, ring finger, 5th fret, and plug both of those. Alright? The alternative, is this shape reaching over with your pinky. This is quite a bit easier. So we harmonize it as 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Okay? So, the next 4 bars look like this. Alright, so, again, that B flat's the same D note, but instead of harmonizing it this way, we used a bar chord, which is another good option. We're using this bar chord shape, which comes from this F. And this is one that I'm going to use actually quite a bit. Because here we have, the notes of an F chord are F, A, C, making the A the 3rd, which means this shape is great for letting the 3rd shine through. The D note is the 3rd note, or the 3rd of our B flat. So the shape really lets that D note shine through nice and bright. It's going to bar that 5th fret, middle finger, 6th fret E string, ring finger, 7th fret G string. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. So what I did there is I added a little mute too as well, which is a great tool to have in this style of music, especially because you can see we have some syncopation, or we're going to the offbeat. So by going 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, it adds some dynamic to that last one. So let's go ahead and play through our second arrangement all the way through together. Tabs on the screen. Alright, so we're cruising now, and that sounds really, really good. So you can take that melody and add those little extra harmonies to add something to your chord melody arrangement, but we're going to take it one step further, alright? We're going to add some other ornamentation. We'll look at some of these different pieces that I call ornamentation. Alright, and the last step is the ornamentation. We're going to look at things like double stops, this particular time in the form of 6. We're also going to look at passing chords, some other little ornamentations that you can use to add to make your chord melody really pop. Okay, so one great tool for ornamentation is something called 6, or really just double stops, but I'll be using a particular double stop called 6, which is playing 2 notes at the same time. You can add a lot of harmony to a note, not by playing a full chord, but just by playing another one. So we're going to take this intro phrase, and we're going to play it like this. Alright? So what I'm doing is I'm taking the same harmony, or the same melody, and I'm harmonizing it with another note in the scale on the G string. Alright, so while you're moving your melody, don't always think just the E string, move it along the E, or just the A string, move it along the E string and see what you can get with these 6. It really helps to know the scale. So if you're playing in the key of F major, for example, take the time and learn the F major scale and kind of experiment with these harmonies and see what works and what doesn't. These 6 sound fantastic. So that first phrase goes, alright, and I'm hitting that open C as a bass note to keep it moving on the offbeats. So it's and 4 and 1 and 2 and this. Okay, so from the top. Alright, so now we're at our B flat. This time we're going to harmonize it with the full chord by getting our pinky up there, and then stabbing down, and then... Alright, so we've just taken that same B shape, B flat shape, and got that pinky way up there. Now we've showed you different options at this point. You can choose what works for you and what doesn't. But this pinky movement sounds really, really, really nice. Alright, so that goes... Alright, so now we're taking that 6, we're going to return to the 6 concept and walk up, and instead of going, we're going to do the same thing that we were doing earlier, and then we're going to make that B flat shape that we had from the second arrangement, but we can see, if we pinch the G string and the E string, we have that same little shape that we have up here. Alright, then we mute it and strum all the way through, because we're going to be hitting that note, so our melody will be... Alright? Now there's another concept called passing chords we're going to do here, because this is a C note that we have in there, and C is not in a B flat. So instead of harmonizing the C note with the B flat, we're actually going to put a C chord in there as we pass through, like... Alright? Okay, so those passing chords will look like this. Alright? So now we've done that walk up 2 times and we're at the... And then we just return to the very end, which is... Okay? So those are all the pieces, those are the ornamentations. There's also a triplet strum that anytime you want you have access to. 1 pola, 2 pola, 3 pola, 4 pola. That sounds great in this style. But why don't we go ahead and try to incorporate the sixths, the passing chords, the mutes, and let's play through the more complicated arrangements together from the top. Here we go. Alright, so you saw how we took it from the melody to the second step, to the third step, and the final step. Alright, okay, I hope you dig it. 10thumbspro.com, subscribe and learn new ukulele every single Wednesday and Saturday, plus bonus lessons and a PDF with this lesson and every lesson at Patreon, starting at $1 creation with caps as low as $1 a month. Alright everybody, rock and roll. Alright everybody, so that was it. The chord melody tutorial. Now you got it in the bag. Now you can play. Now you can make this awesome arrangement, and check it out too, it's also cool you can kind of start and build up intensity with all these different arrangements. Maybe start with the 1, then harmonize more, and then you can create dynamics, because it's only an 8-bar loop with 1 melody, so you have to kind of really think about dynamics and how you can take them and expand them, alright? 10thumbspro.com, Patreon, it's $1 a month. You know, that's where your cap's at, $1 creation, caps as low as $1 a month. PS with every single lesson, it will accelerate your learning, I promise. And until next time everybody, 10thumbspro.com, rock and roll, keep on playing that ukulele, love and life, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.